We're going to look at On Cabanon by Le Corbusier from the book 25 Buildings Every Architect Should Understand. This small building was a vacation cabin in south of France, which Corb designed for himself. This video is a short summary of his design thinking through the text written by Simon Unwin. He refers to the cabin as the idea of refuge, a volume of space separated by the most fundamental and simple architectural elements: walls, roof, floor. These create a cell with psychological effect. He refers to this place as a spiritual chamber, a space created by God for a simple human need. For him, a few elements become the programmed: bed to rest, chair, table, lamp to work, and other basic spaces. Okay, let's have a look at the aerial view of the cabin. So we've got the cabin here, and then next to it is the restaurant, which is connected to the cabin. To the right of the cabin, there is an atelier that Corb designed later and added there. To the left of the restaurant, this is the apartment block that we can see here, which was designed by Corb again, and beneath that is the famous Villa E1027 by Eileen Gray, the Irish architect. So we've got this view of the cabin with the adjacent buildings and landscape. So there are references to other cabins in the book, and we can see that all have this desire to reduce life to its simplest essential form as a spiritual architectural activity. This actually reminds us of the famous illustration of Primitive Hut by Antoine Roger. So we've got the axonometric drawing of interior. Here are two beds that determine the space to sleep and rest. And then we've got the L-shaped table, place to work, and there is a vent there at the top, and a couple of shelves and boxes to keep architectural tools and other stuff. This is an element which kind of divides the space to sleep and work, and behind that there is a small sink. And on the other side of the room, a bit next to the bed, there is a toilet, and there is a window with shutters, a big window with shutters that looks over the landscape. There is a wardrobe next to the place to dress, and we can see that as the main door of the cabin, which is a sliding door, and that is the archway to the restaurant that we earlier mentioned, that is connecting the cabin and the restaurant. One important process in Le Corbusier's designs is the idea of mathematical proportion. And he created his architectural proportions based on human proportions, and he called this system the modular. As you can see from the sketch, the modular system starts with a square and then a golden rectangle and a double square. Click on the link below if you want to know how to draw a golden section and more detailed drawing of the modular system. Corb claimed that his modular system was more accurate and better than the Vitruvian system. In recent years, there has been a criticism of Le Corbusier's modular system because it is based on the proportion of a tall white man, and it overlooks the diversity of human body. Nevertheless, he's arguing that he's using mathematical logics which can be seen in nature, and he's also using some of the mathematical operations like a Fibonacci sequence, which is present in his proportional system. In the book, we can see some of the example of his design based on his modular system. You notice the height of the room measures 226 centimeters, and the floor plan measures 366 by 366, which is according to his blue series, which were created using Fibonacci sequence. Here we can see each of these rectangles, which determine functional space, measure 226 by 140 centimeters, which is again according to the same method using Fibonacci sequence. And the spiral positioning of these rectangles determine other spaces such as the doorway and the central space. Overall, Corb used the modular system to design harmonious geometry, some of which rooted in golden section, double square, Fibonacci sequence, and so on. Of course, there were some adjustments. If you look at this section, the ceiling is stepped to allow for the storage, or the doorway is lowered to give a sense of boarding a ship. Evans, in the architecture and its three geometries, points out that Corb's modular system is based on geometrical inaccuracy. And actually, Corb himself acknowledged that and said he's not really too worried about these small adjustments. What matters is the geometrical and architectural game that he created and he played. It is like as if he has the privilege of ignoring his own rules. This was a short summary of On Cabanon, written by Simon Unwin.